when everyone's born, the light of our life, he was born with a collapsed lung. So he got rushed to Children's Hospital. So for like 2 weeks he was in the hospital with that collapsed lung, so that was like very painful for us, very emotional for us. So right from there, you know, fighting for his life, right then, you know. When we started walking, he was the fastest kid around. He just was always going, always racing. I remember Stefan was trying to chase after him, always running after him, just going 100 miles an hour. You know, he was just always full of energy. He was like the fastest little kid. We used to laugh how fast he was on his little, you know, banging into everything. So he just, again, he was just full of energy. Just, you know, couldn't stop him. Very protective of his sister, which I thought was great for me because I had two younger sisters I used to have to fight for, you know. So I was like, good, you know, he can protect his sister. So I always said that, like, you know, it's your guardian angel, that you know, you got a brother there to protect you, you know. And she loved it. She was always teasing him. She'd always hit him and get him in trouble, and you know, it was just funny. But he was a big-sized kid, so he fit in. He had that mentality of he was just an old soul, you know. And I think that's what happened with, you know, him hanging out with his kids and at 15 taking that perk, you know, by peer pressure and just not knowing where he's going to lead him, you know. And me either. I would think, all right, he's in a phase. I went through a phase at young, smoking weed when I was a young kid, and just a phase, you know.
He was only a teenager. He never got to really live and have those things that everybody should have.
You can't stand the things that I do. You know that I'll need this more than I'll ever need.
My son thought he was a loser. And, you know, a lot of addicts think they're losers. And, you know, it's tough. And he used to say that he would never amount to anything because of drugs, and then he thought he was a loser.
Then trying to take him meetings at my church, I did all these things, and I was learning this disease of addiction. He knew it, you know, he wanted to get it. Mm-hmm. He was in and out of 3 or 4 or 5 times with different detoxes. The drug is just too powerful.
Till it swallows me whole, swallows me whole.
We started the Evan Foundation No First Time shortly after we lost our son Evan to a heroin overdose. Evan was only 15 years old when he started doing pills, and he quickly got addicted to the pills, and by the time he was 17, he got addicted to heroin.
I had no idea how strong and how, you know, this addiction was, you know. Going to AA meetings and going to NA meetings with them, and seeing how bad it really was of a struggle for him and a lot of people out there. So that's how I learned it through him, you know. I had no clue to how dangerous the drug was and how people are really affected and their families affected by it, you know.
Mm-hmm. We really felt like we needed to tell our story about Evan, how it happened, how fast it happened, and to warn children, you know, starting in the 5th grade, we believe, should know about the dangers of taking drugs. No First Time presentation is a drug prevention presentation. We have a police officer, a state trooper on our team that starts it off with the educational part of the presentation.
I grew up in the projects of South Boston. My mother was an alcoholic and later became addicted to prescription drugs, and she died 2 years ago. My father died 6 years ago from a prescription drug overdose. An opiate drug is a drug that's made from opium, which is a plant. And there's all kinds of derivatives that come from it. One of them is heroin. But there are other drugs that are made legally from that substance. Percocet, oxycodone, which is the active ingredient. And those were developed for pain management, right?
No First Time also has a recovering addict named Matt Gainham who goes up, and he's a poet, and he speaks to the kids about himself who made some bad choices growing up, which led him into a horrific addiction.
Now, as the drug progression went, I ended up hitting rock bottom. I was 21 years old, I was homeless, I was an IV heroin user, I was in and out of court, in and out of jail, in and out of programs. I did not talk to my mother, my sister, or my father. I literally had absolutely nothing but the clothes on my back.
And he really, really teaches them and talks to them about making those right choices when you're young and how it can follow you through life.
I'm the beautiful ugly, a recovering junkie, making barely enough money to keep a roof over me and my son and lesbian. I refuse to let him go hungry because my past has come back to crush me.
I get up at the end and I tell my son's story, and what I pretty much tell the kids is how drugs ruined everything for my son and then took his life. Basically, Evan never got to graduate high school, and he never got to go to college, and he never got to do a lot of things because of drugs. And I tell the kids how important it is when you're in these peer pressure situations, or you're out and about and you're at parties as you're getting older. You have to make that quick decision. Do I say yes or do I say no? And that's why we call it No First Time. They have got to know that just one time can be the last time.
You need to think, if you're in this situation, I'm going to walk away because they want to do drugs, I want to have a good future, I want to go to college, I want to make my parents proud, I want to feel good about myself. You will not feel good about yourself if you get caught up in drugs.
I can make my